A lot of people will tell you, oh, narcissists just react in anger. No, that's not the case. Evil narcissists design damage and destruction. They wait for the moment they know will leave a mark on your soul, not just a bruise on your skin. They want you to go through the kind of suffering that you will never recover from, and then they want you to think you did it to yourself. They quietly move pieces around your life like a chessboard. They remove the help you need. They feed you the wrong step at the right time. They interrupt the exact spark that kept you alive. And then they stand back as you blame yourself for the fallout. This is their campaign of destruction against you, and you need to understand that thoroughly if you want to save yourself. I'm Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. The topic for today is evil narcissists do these 5 things to cause you soul crushing damage. Before we get started with number 1, make sure you sign up for the wait list for my membership program called Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse, which just closed. Link is in the description. Sign up right now. The first move is they intentionally let you mess up. You could be standing at a crossroads in life, unsure of which way to go. You may turn to them because you assume they care or because they seem more experienced. In that moment, they see your blind spot. They see the wrong choice you are about to make, and they know exactly how it will end. But instead of warning you, stopping you, instead of stepping in, they stay silent. Sometimes they even give you a small push, a half answer that nudges you toward disaster. It could be financial, it could be a career choice, could be something as important as missing a document deadline, signing the wrong paper, or trusting the wrong person. They see you about to ruin yourself and they let it happen. Why? Because the aftermath entertains them if they're sadistic. And when the consequences finally crush you, they step back in, not with compassion, never, but with extreme judgment. They say things like, you should have known better. What happened to your education, your degree? Or I thought you had it under control. That's their favorite part, letting you suffer while they play the wise critic. I still remember my father saying to me, never show anyone the right path, always derail them, keep them guessing, keep them busy. He meant it, he lived by it. People would come to him for advice, and he would deliberately leave out the most important part, so they never move forward. That is the level of envy and cruelty we're talking about here. And when you fail, they do not just stand by, they blame you for it, triggering false accountability, pseudo accountability, making you feel stupid for not seeing what they saw all along. The crazy part is they feel really powerful to be able to influence your life in such a devastating way. Have you experienced this? Let me know in the comments. The second move is they ruin the one thing you love most. Narcissists cannot stand sharing your affection or attention with anything that gives you hope or life. If your soul feels at home in your pet, your art, friendships, career, or your family, they see it as a competition. To them, how dare you love something as much as or more than them? Their jealousy is not passive, it becomes a mission for them to destroy what matters to you most. Sometimes this looks like subtle poisoning of relationships. They slowly convince you your good friend is not good for you anymore. They drip feed suspicion until your family feels distant. They tell you your job does not value you. They chip at it bit by bit. Other times it's brutal and direct. A pet suddenly dies. A partner suddenly turns on you. A career ending mistake suddenly happens that traces back to their influence. That's who they are. The devastation this creates is deeper than the loss itself. It is the way it makes you question whether you are even allowed to love anything without any punishment. Imagine waking up to find your cat poisoned, your job gone, or your closest bond severed. That is the kind of damage they want. That's why they're evil. Not temporary pain, but a lifelong scar that makes you associate joy with danger. That way, every time you start to love something again, you will hear their voice in your head warning you not to. The third move is they deliberately withhold urgent information. This one is as quiet as it is devastating. They see the email come in with your deadline. They hear the voicemail from the recruiter. They know the bill is due, the appointment is near, the family emergency is happening, and they sit on it. They let the clock run out. Then, when the opportunity is gone, they casually mention it, or worse, they deny knowing about it at all. What this does to you is more than missing a chance. It makes you doubt your own competence. You start to believe you are always late, always disorganized, and always behind. They manufacture this narrative by controlling the flow of facts. And when your life feels like a series of failures, they position themselves as the calm one, the one who manages better, who is there for you, so you never question them. The truth is, you are not chaotic. They created the chaos and they enjoyed every bit of it because each missed chance chips away at your confidence and that leaves you more dependent on them. People who love you hand you information to see you thrive. People who want to own you keep it from you so you fail. The fourth move is they twist your moral compass until you betray your own values. This is the most common thing. It's not about shouting at you to do something wrong, it is far more subtle. They create situations where going against yourself feels like the easiest and the rightest path. Maybe they ask you to lie for them. Maybe they nudge you into cutting someone off unfairly. Maybe they encourage you to shade the truth at work because everyone does it, right? The first time you feel uneasy, but you push past it, then it happens again. Slowly, you start stacking compromises until you barely recognize yourself. And the problem is, once you have betrayed your own values, shame does their work for them. You carry guilt that keeps you quiet. You stop reaching for help because you are afraid of being exposed or embarrassed. You are afraid of being a narcissist. Later, they use the very choices they pressured you into as weapons. They call you a hypocrite. They mock you for pretending to be good. They accuse you of betrayal when you try to leave, as if they were the standard all along. The truth is, they trained you into violating your own integrity, and then they used your shame as a leash. And finally, the fifth move is they deliberately corrupt your creative flow. They watch you come alive when you create. Maybe it is writing, maybe it is painting, dancing, planning, designing, and building. They see that spark. They know this is the one place you feel free, the one place they cannot fully reach. So, what do? They don't nurture it, forget it. No, they target it. Notice the evil pattern. You finally sit down to work and inspiration strikes. Right at that moment, not before, no, not after. They interrupt. A fight, a guilt trip, urgent request, a loud distraction, anything to break the state because they know that creativity is not just about time, it's about flow. It's a fragile doorway, and once it slams shut, it's gone. Over time, you start believing you lack discipline. You think you cannot finish projects. You call yourself lazy, scattered, and inconsistent. None of that is true. What is true is you were being trained to associate creation with interruption. They want you to stop trying so your identity crumbles. Instead of seeing yourself as an artist or a builder or a writer, you start seeing yourself as someone who never completes anything. And the problem is you can't prove any of this to anyone. You can't tell anybody that this is what he or she does the minute I sit at my work table. Nobody believes you. They say, oh, come on. They're not shouting, they're not hitting you, they're not doing anything. So, what abuse are you talking about? Instead of seeing yourself as an artist or a builder or a writer, you start seeing yourself as someone who never completes anything. That is the deepest theft of all because it convinces you that the best part of you does not exist. And that, in my eyes, is the biggest harm. So look at the thread connecting all five moves. They want you to blame yourself. They want you to believe you are incompetent, unworthy, chaotic, hypocritical, and uninspired. They create the collapse, then stand back and watch you carry the shame as if it were yours. But let me say this very clearly and once for all. You were not too careless. You were not too lazy. You were targeted, period. They set the trap and then they laughed when you fell into it. The moment you see the playbook, the game changes. You start noticing when silence is not forgetfulness but strategy. You start projecting the things you love as sacred and untouchable. You create systems that give you information directly instead of through them. That's what I want you to do. You step back into your values and reclaim them, and you guard your creative flow like the flame that lights your future. That is how you break the campaign of destruction. That's how you rise from the damage they designed. I hope you found this advice helpful. Let me know in the comments. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.